Hi, it's Savannah Ogwin from Savannah Land 2. First, let me apologize for my voice. I know it sounds a bit different. I've got an appointment with the doctor today, and hopefully I don't have tonsillitis or a virus of some sort. And fingers crossed, I can make it through this video in one take and with as few coughs as possible. Today I'd like to share how I get my Paper Smooches sentiment die cuts to pop up. Here are 2 cards that I've created using foam to pop up my sentiments. Now you might say, I use foam all the time for extra dimension. Yes, I do too. But just recently I found a way to make it a bit easier to make even the detailed die images and sentiments pop. And I would love to share this tip with you. So there are a couple of different ways to use foam on our cards for extra dimension. And actually there are lots of different sizes and thicknesses of foam. Now I'm not sure you'll be able to see this in the video, but on the left you can tell that this foam is a lot thicker than the one on the right. So you just have to check out what size foam you like. Now the first way to add foam to a project to make it have dimension is just by adding regular pieces of foam to the back. So for this I just die cut a word bubble and then added foam, a regular size piece, to the back. And this is the normal way to add dimension to your projects. Now the second way is to cut up foam to fit the image. Here I've die cut the heart from the wedding shower die set, and these foam pieces are way too big for this little heart. So all you have to do is cut up a little piece of your foam and attach it to the back. And I'm sure everybody has done this, so this is nothing really new. It's just I want to share another way in a second. So to add dimension to small details like this, you just cut up your foam to fit your die. But what do you do for really small details and sentiment die cuts, such as this word Christmas? Well, that's how I created these cards, and I actually die cut my foam so it fits right behind my die cut image and sentiment. And I'm actually going to do that to finish this card for the video. So to die cut foam, you're going to need a couple of supplies and follow some simple steps. First, you're going to need some foam, and I'm going to be using this Scotch foam on a roll. You also need some wax paper. You also need a die cutting machine, and I've used the Cuttlebug along with the A, B, and C plates. And you will need your Paper Smooches dies. For this example, I'll be using the sentiment from the quote tag die set. So here are the steps that I follow. First, I die cut my sentiment from paper, which I've already done. Then I take a piece of foam and place it on some wax paper. Now you need wax paper if you're using foam on a roll, because when you take this off to die cut it, it reveals the sticky back. So you just want to protect that. And another tip is you want to use the shiny side of the wax paper. I've ruined many pieces of foam putting it on the wrong side of the wax paper. Next, you place this piece on your A and C plates, and I might even tape this down because it rolls up on me. So once you tape this down, you're going to then place your die on top of your foam. Now your foam isn't, well, mine actually isn't going to fit the whole word. And you can definitely die cut the whole word, but I'm just going to cut just the bottom pieces or possibly just the middle pieces. And now I'm going to tape this down. I'm going to top my stack with my B plate and run it through my die cutting machine. Now I like to run it through at least 2 or 3 times because I want to make sure the foam gets a nice cut. And you can do it once or twice if you want, but I'm going to run it through 2 or 3 times. And there you have your die cut foam. Now I'm going to cut this down a little bit so it's easier to manipulate. Of course, for the video, I have to have a piece of wax paper that's super large. Now, before I go on, you might be asking why I can't just add paper to the foam first and then die cut. Well, here's an example of what happens to the paper when you don't die cut them separately. You might notice on the back that I put 2 pieces of foam. That way it would die cut the whole piece, the whole word. And when I hold this up, you might be able to tell here and on the letters, the paper has cracked and shown the white backing. So if you really like that design, you can do this. But because I wanted a solid pattern in the front, I don't place the paper on top of the foam first. It's just my preference. To finish my card, all I do is carefully remove the extra foam and add the paper die cut on top of the foam piece. Now an easy way to do this is to manipulate your paper, wax paper, and fold it over to reveal pieces that are extra. Now I'm taking off the front part of my foam. There's also a little piece in that O that I need to remove. Now that I have my foam ready, I just attach my paper to it. Now this might be a bit difficult because it's got detailed and intricate pieces, but just work with it, and the more you do it, the easier it is. Well, sometimes. And to finish up, you might notice that there's a little piece of foam showing on the side, so you just take a little needle and push them in. Now I don't mind a lot of foam showing on mine. I've got, on this card, let me clean this up. On this card I've got a couple pieces that are just really too small for me to push back the foam, so I'm okay with that showing. On this one it turned out really nice and I didn't have to push back any different parts. So it all depends on how you place it and how it ends up, how your foam, how thick it is, and so there's lots of different reasons for this, but for this foam I really like how this looks. Now I can remove it from my wax paper and attach it to my card. And even while it's on the card, if you see a little bit more foam that you want to push in, just take your needle and push it in. And it's that simple. I hope that you will try adding die cut foam to the back of your Paper Smooches die images and sentiments. Please leave a comment below with a link to one of your creations. I'd love to check it out. Or link up to the Inspired by Virtual Smooches post. Maybe you will be our next featured fan. Thanks so much for watching.